child grows up to be somebody that just loves to learn. And another child grows up to be somebody you just love to burn. Mom loves the both of them. You see it in the blood. Both kids are good to mom. Blood thicker than the mud. It's a family affair.
Family affair.
Family affair.
Family
Newlywed a year ago, still checking each other out. Ooh, nobody wants to blow. Nobody wants to be left out. You can't leave, cause your heart is there. And you can't stay, cause you've been somewhere else. You can't cry, cause you look broke down. But you're crying anyway, cause your heart broke down. It's a family affair.
family
It's a
affair.
family affair.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair.
Ago, you're still checking each other out. Ooh, nobody wants to blow. Ain't nobody wanna be left out. You can't be, cause your heart is there. And you can't stay, cause you've been somewhere else. You can't cry, cause you look broke down. But you're crying anyway, cause your arm broke down. It's a family affair.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair.
Good morning, each and every one of you all, my Facebook family and friends. It is another cold day, February the 13th, 2021. I'm here at Take a Pew Holistic Health Lounge, and I'm so glad to be here on today, on Valentine's Eve, to just celebrate love, life, Black History Month, African American History Month, whatever you want to call it or name it. It's just good, as my pastor would say, to be in the land of the living. Oftentimes, we overlook our family, our friends, those folk, those people, those persons that we usually have dinner with, those persons that we grew up with, those persons that are very dear and close to us. We often overlook them for other families that we deem in some aspect as people of importance. Well, I got some people of importance with me here on today, and I am so proud of them. They are, as I said, my younger cousins and my friend, and I'm going to allow them to tell their story, my history, my Black history, our contribution to society. And I think they have made great strides to their respective cities where they live. First and foremost, let me start with my cousin that's a few years under me. Her name is Vanessa Chandler. Vanessa is, like I said, we always say our cousins are our best friends, our first friends that we meet. So she is my first cousin. We are two sisters' children. We are sorors, and of course, the colors will tell the story. Vanessa is a native Mississippian, a graduate of Rusk College, a graduate also of Marquette University, and she resides in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Vanessa teaches professionally in the Milwaukee public school system, and she is also the owner and entrepreneur of V Dazzle Jewels. And I think she has changed that name. I'm gonna let her tell that story later on, into the surname of our um, paternal grandfather. So, but Vanessa is an entrepreneur. She is the sister of Memphis M. Dazzle, Mrs. Marion Chandler. My next guest is, let me see who I'm gonna select. I got all my folk. I'm gonna go with, I guess my cousin production just went on and put a person in front of me, which is Dr. Etosha Butler Jackson. Dr. Jackson was married into this wonderful family, the Vassar Geddes family, Jackson family. She married my first cousin, Enos Jackson. The story that, and I'm much older than Brother Enos. When he was born, I think I was 18 years of age, but we still have a tight bond. He's my fishing buddy. And he and Etosha met at the University of Mississippi, Old Miss. So as you can see, Miss Butler Jackson did not do as I asked her. She got on with some blue and white on, which that's okay. She is a member of Zeta Phi Beta sorority. Her husband Enos, my first cousin, is also a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. So Dr. Jackson is a employee with Regional One. She is a native Mississippian as well, but she still lives a little below the state line. She works in Memphis at Hollywood Community Center as a nurse practitioner through Regional One Hospital. And I'm going to let her tell her story. She is also an author. She's recently published and written and published her first book. And I'm going to let her tell it because I know she has it sitting somewhere next to her. Her husband, Mr. Enos Jackson, who is my first cousin, he is hopefully will slide in and be a part of the podcast as well. I'm going to drop over to, okay, my other first cousin. This boy right here, this young man. I didn't mean to call him a boy, but I raised him. His mama just had him, and I raised him. He is Jonathan Marvelous Jackson. He is named after his mother and my mother, and he got a soft spot in my heart. So to all of you that have cashed at me with your payments for whatever item that you've purchased at Take a Pew, that little baby that's on my profile page is his son, and he is also a star guest on the podcast today. But he is where is he? Hold him up so they can see him. That's Mrs. Jackson, Lakeisha Jackson. That's the wife of Jonathan Jackson, and that is the future owner in her lab of Take a Pew Holistic Health Lounge. The Jacksons reside, you can let them go. They currently live in North Georgia, and Jonathan and Keisha got married a few years ago, and they allowed me the privilege of uniting them together in holy matrimony. Jonathan, like I said, is like the little brother I never had. Most people thought he was my son, thought I was a teenage mother. However, we have many, many stories, many, many memories. I taught him how to drive. He pretty much went everywhere I went. And I guess I could say so much. I'm going to move on because I'm getting a little misty in the eyes. My next guest, we'll be back. We'll be back. My next guest. Let me go to this. Let me go to this firefighter right here. Oh, that's okay. Keitra Wilkerson. Keitra is a Geddes. Wilkerson is her married name, but she is my cousin on my grandmother's side. Her granddaddy and our grandmother were brothers and sisters, and I hosted a family reunion a couple of years ago, and I'm always trying to find everybody, but somehow she found me, and we've been friends ever since. Keitra is she comes from a sibling group of four. All of them are in Alabama as well as Georgia, and Keitra is in Jackson, Mississippi. She is a graduate of Jackson State University, a proud alumni with the Sonic Boom, and an excellent cook. And she is also in. I didn't tell y'all about Jonathan. He is also in business management. Keitra, all of these folk are in corporate America. And Lakeisha is, um, Keisha does a number of things, but she just opened up her own speech pathology company business, and I'm gonna let her tell it because somebody has my phone and I have to read my notes. And Keitra comes from a singing family, so the Geddeses and the Vassars, they are people that can sing quite well. So we coming back to you. Last but not least, last but not least, sister girl that just popped in is Concetta Harris. Concetta Harris is one of Memphis's finest. She is also a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. She is also a member of the Memphis firefighters. She gave me the information. I can't think of it, but Concetta made history in the state of Tennessee. Am I right, Concetta? Is the state of Tennessee or the country is she's Lieutenant Harris. Am I right? Okay, so let me get them ranks right. She is Lieutenant Harris. So we're going to come back because she got some Memphis history going on. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to open the floor with my guest, my first guest, Keitra Wilkerson. Like I said, Keitra is the only one that I have known the least on the podcast today. Again, it's a family affair. I'm gonna just I'm gonna just open the floor and let you just talk to us and tell us how you feeling this morning and what's going on with you um, business wise. And I want all of y'all to unmute your mics and we're gonna all talk together, just like we do. Most of us are on Microsoft Teams. I know Vanessa, we are on Teams all day long. And just we're gonna dialogue and talk and just have a good time, just talking about our family. And Concetta has been adopted in our family by Jonathan's mother. Um, and I want to say this, y'all know that I'm a social worker by profession, and Concetta started out as a social worker
Sure
and
did.
changed her career and became a firefighter. So, Keitra, I'm gonna give the floor to you this morning. And if you want to talk, just go ahead and talk about whatever you want to talk about and share with us about our family. And I know you haven't seen some of, like Jonathan, you haven't met Jonathan and Etosha and Lakeisha. So you can just
Say
just
hello.
say hello or however you want to go.
Well, I think it's afternoon now, so good afternoon to my family. And I hope everybody's doing well. Yes, I have not, I don't think I've met, yeah, Etosha, Jonathan, and Lakeisha before. Hey, Vanessa's been so long. But yeah, I am originally Keitra Geddes from Oklahoma, Mississippi. My dad is William Geddes, and my grandfather is Early Geddes Sr.
Oh,
Um,
early.
So I have been here in Jackson, Mississippi since I came to college in 1993. And I work in the healthcare field. I actually am healthcare management. I've used to manage some of the specialty clinics for the University of Mississippi Medical Center. And now I am a clinical manager for a small black owned home care business in Clinton, Mississippi. I love healthcare. My degree is in biology, so I just kind of try to keep it in that field as much as possible. I also help small businesses do a little business consulting. So I help small businesses get started and grow in their marketing and stuff. So stay pretty busy with that. I have two boys. Caleb, who's 12, and I have my oldest son, Kyron. He broke our Jackson State tradition. He's the first child that actually he's at Mississippi State playing basketball. But my siblings and I are all graduates of Jackson State, and my younger brother and I both were a part of the Sonic Boom, so we get excited all the time. But that's pretty much me. Yeah, I met LaTondra when she was trying to do the family reunion several years ago, and she has been we've been close ever since. So we try to talk once a week, every whenever we can. But
And I wake
yeah,
you up in the mornings.
when she wakes me
I
up in the
simply
morning
drive.
on my way to work, and anytime she can catch me. But yeah, we always enjoy talking to each other. So I get excited when I get to meet family members. So I'm glad to meet and say hello to the ones I haven't met before. So that's me.
Okay. Any volunteers? Anybody? Jonathan, I'm gonna let you go next.
Well, currently right now, I'm a project manager for a manufacturing firm. It is actually based in Switzerland. They have an office here in North Atlanta, and I just want to talk about just real quick. I want to talk about my family and my profession. My greatest motivation and inspiration is my family, mother, sister, father, but more so my wife and my children. I guess I say children. We have one more coming. So they push me and drive me to do everything personally and professionally. So one of the things that a long time ago in college, a few things that I wanted to do for a profession. I wanted to travel for one. I wanted to be able to work from anywhere. I wanted to have a laptop, and also I wanted a company to be able to pick up all the expenses. So I wanted a company to be able to pick up the hotel and all those expenses. And so now, God has, gave me all the experiences. And now that I am in my role as a project manager and working for this company, I have definitely traveled and I will travel some more in the future, doing exactly what I prayed that I want to do for my life. In the past, I've owned several businesses. And when I met my wife, the first thing I told my wife was, I really want you to have a business. I really can't see you working for someone else. And just with all the gifts and talents that she has, I could see that she was capable of owning her own business. And she'll talk a little bit more about that. But just to sum it up and wrap it up, my greatest motivation and aspiration in life is my family, my children, and they drive me professionally. They drive me to be the best at what I do. And in my profession, we're not represented um, in much in numbers. If you ask a teenager or you even ask a young man, hey, what do you drive to be? They're not going to say a project manager. But that's in the engineering field. It's working with mechanical engineers, controls and electrical engineers, and managing and getting projects and things together. Um, Us as a family, just us as who we are, that's what we do. We're the glue in whatever we do. We are the managing person. We get things together and we bring the organization together. So there's just natural talents and traits that we have as a family. So wherever you are in your individual role, number one, you're probably that glue person. Number two, you're probably the person that's organizing everything and getting things together. And number three, you're probably driving that thing that you're doing. And those three things that we have naturally is innate in us. So I knew as a project manager that was my role. I knew I can lead and drive. So I'm doing what I'm blessed, and happy at doing, and I'm thankful.
Thank you, Reverend Jackson. We appreciate that. So tell me, you talk like I know you were with um Goodwill of North Georgia for a number of years, for 10 to be exact, and you left Chattanooga. You said you weren't coming back home, and that's understandable. But do you remember where your first job was?
Yes, my very, 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 very first job was at Vale's Beauty Shop
You sure
in
it was at Bill's
Binghamton.
Beauty Shop, 365
Vale,
Tillman.
on Tillman. I
T-
can remember, as clear as yesterday. There was a bottle machine in
a
the
Coke
back right
machine.
of the shop. And I used to try to raid this drink machine. That's when a bottle of drink was like 25, 30 cents. I used to try to, raid the drink machine. I had some chips. I would clean up, sweep, organize the magazines, greet everybody as they came in. Um, and all those things as a young child, and my first job, and then I felt like God had positioned me at that point to see an entrepreneur in action. When I watched Vale do what she do, I didn't watch her as a beautician. I watched her as two things: as an artist and as an entrepreneur. If you knew Vale and you saw her in her natural element, it was like watching a person do surgery but have fun. She was never stressed. She never had a dull moment. So it was like watching an artist paint, but just living life, just full of life, and just carefree in that moment. So while I'm sweeping and gathering magazines and doing those things, I don't think she ever understood that a young
Can you give me
man
a
was
picture?
watching this young woman
Mm-mm.
being who she
In the
was in her element, and understanding that that's the purest moment that you can have is when you feel like I'm an artist, I'm free, I'm a business owner, and doing everything in the purest form, and just having fun. Also getting paid and having your own. But I don't think she ever understood that she saw a young boy watching her and could understand at that moment, very young at that moment, that I'm watching her in her purest moments. And what I took from that was, building businesses. And give you just a little background about me. Went to University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Graduated with a background in economics and finance, and later on got my master's in project management. But in Chattanooga, I owned a business. Um, and at that moment, I was in my purest moments. There would be moments it would just be things going, and I'm in my project management mode. There's things going. I'm organizing and getting these things together, but I felt like an artist. I felt like in my purest moment, I was doing exactly what God had led me to do because I had seen examples beforehand. Um, so I just felt free at that moment. And now, what Vail is doing and what God is doing is allowing me to provide for my family, doing exactly what I love to do, but also encouraging my wife to be in her purest moment so that she can free and enjoy exactly what she's been led to do, and assisting others, and especially children, assisting others, and being the best that they can be at their life. So the impact of that that beauty shop, the impact of Veil, everybody walking in, just the conversations that was happening, the interactions, the little small
Right.
tasks and things I did. I had so many takeaways at that moment, and it was just so impactful. So I just encourage everyone, even if you see a young child, just doing something, every now and then that young child is looking at you, and they can kind of see in a more abstract view versus us in our older, polluted, so to speak, view. Their view is so filtered and just so abstract. They can just see us at our freest moment. So
Right.
I just hope
Right.
when you have
Right.
that child, whoever that is, whoever
Right.
that may be, that you have, that you can kind of see
Right.
that you're giving that child a task, but they are really watching
Mm.
you from a spiritual, free flowing form. So yeah, that's my first job. I just took so
Now,
much from it.
I should have gotten you your own segment. You need your own segment. So I want y'all to loosen up, cause yeah, he needed his own. He needed his own show. Well, I'm glad cause all of that I really forgot about it, and I know you learned to cook with her, and
Hmm.
all that good stuff, and so we gonna come back. You'll be on in the next couple of months.